Hi, I'm Dave Wurzel, and you're watching Bookshelf, and this is a special edition Bookshelf Youth and Teen. We're taking a look at titles for youth and teens for fall 2023. With me to do that, we've got some great titles come out, is Tina Rosala, who is the head of head of Youth and Teen Services at Palos Heights Library, and she's recommended some great books here for different age groups, and we want to talk about that. These are all books that have come out in the last month or two, and I think some coming out in September, so we're like right in that window.
Yes.
Right? And also we've got kids going back to school, so whether it's a back to school book or maybe a project or book report or something coming up, some great titles here for kids to look at. How about if we jump right in? The first category is picture books, and we talked about this. Who are picture books for?
So depending on the content, picture books can be for babies, or a lot of teachers come in and they do ask for picture books as read-alouds to their classrooms for like first and second grade.
Okay, so we're going to recommend, Tina has got three great titles here. I can think potentially, I don't have kids in this age, but certainly potential gift items here. First picture book, what have you got?
So the first picture book is Back to School Backpack, and it is by Simon Rich. This book came out in July 2023. The neat thing about this book is it is taken from the point of view of this backpack. Okay, now this backpack has been in the closet all summer. It's been relaxing in a chill, quiet environment, and now the backpack is experiencing anxiety because now he's going to be going to school with crowded hallways. Other backpacks are going to bump into him, and it's just a great picture book for any child that gets anxiety, probably starting school for the first time or even going back to school. The cover is just...
it's cute.
Yes, it is so adorable. It's just this backpack with like a sad zipper face, and you can just feel the anxiousness that the backpack is feeling.
Yeah, I love it as a parent, but especially I love the angle of not the kids' anxiety, but the backpacks to kind of displace it so we can look at it from another perspective. Yeah, I checked it out online to look at it, and the illustrations are cool. It reminds me of some of the other series books where they kind of spin the things and show you another angle on it.
Yes.
Looks like a fun book. It really does. Another picture book category. This also sounds incredibly fun. Very unique premise here. Mr. S by Monica Arnaldo.
Yes.
Right. This book, I'm going to read. The critics' comment here was, I thought, perfect. Just again, I looked the book up and I read through the premise. Prepare for plenty of giggles. All right. As a kindergarten class arrives for the first day of school, but can't find their teacher, right? And I can imagine even the anxiety in kids, like, what's the first day like and who's my teacher going to be? They show up, no teacher, only a delicious-looking sandwich and the words Mr. S scribbled on the blackboard. The chaos ensues. The kids, don't know what to do. Is a sandwich their teacher?
Yes.
You can imagine little kids. So you get this first day chaos mayhem thing and a lot of fun. And again, it sounds like that, again, addressing that anxiety, that first day of school, what's going to look like, who's my teacher. Right?
Yeah, and what happens is a ruler falls, and then the kids automatically get spooked, and they're like, where'd that noise come from? And they just look to the desk and they see this sandwich, and it has like a piece of meat sticking out for a tongue, and all the meat, all while this is happening and the kids are thinking the sandwich is the teacher, you can see outside of the classroom window that there is an adult out there who is having all kinds of crazy car trouble. Like a tree fell on his car, there's fire trucks and everything. So who is the man outside the classroom? And this sandwich kind of just like takes over, and it's great.
All right, another fun read, and I can see the giggles are right there. All right, we got one more picture book to recommend. What have you got?
Yes, so this is The Kid with Big, Big Ideas, and it is by Brittany Wynn Lee and illustrated by Jacob Suva. So this book is the third installment from the Big, Big series, and I can't say enough about this series. So the first one was The Kid with Big, Big Feelings, then we had The Kid with Big, Big Questions, now it's The Kid with Big, Big Ideas. And in this story, this child, he is very creative and he has a great imagination, and there's this one excerpt in the book that says, but the kids' creativity was so big and their ideas were often so wild that the grown-ups dismissed them and would say, oh, that's just an imaginative child. And in the meantime, this child just like wants to be heard and his opinions matter, and his grand listens, and you read on more to the story, and this boy just says, just think of all the good we could do if we worked as one big team.
Sounds like a story good for adults too.
Yes.
Remind ourselves that kids, even though they're children, you know, this is like out of the mouths of babes comes wisdom, right? Well, maybe we should listen to their big ideas.
Yeah.
Right?
And very colorful illustrations in that one too.
All right.
So
Sounds like
nice.
another great book. All right, so we're going to jump up to chapter books now. Chapter books target who?
So usually between 8 to 12 years old, so 3rd through 7th grade. Again, there is some overlap too, depending on the content. So you can go up or down in grade levels as well.
Okay. All right, so the first book we're going to take a look at in this category is the Don Quixote, Rise of the Knight, written by Ray, I'm going to try and get this, Terciero?
Yes.
Okay, and illustrated by Monica Magana. Okay, in this book we've got Lucia Castillo, who dreams of being a hero like her grandfather. I love the premise in this story too. This is good because, but to people in their Texas town, he was just a strange old man who dressed as a knight and claimed to save the world from monsters only he could see. All right, there's all kinds, I can see potential problem here. She wants to be like her grandfather. Now, years later, when Lucia and her best friend and trusty squire, Sandro, I love the parallels to Don Quixote here, the town mayor is secretly, Sandro discovered the town mayor is secretly a shape-shifting beast of Mexican lore. Her parents think she's imagining things like her abuelo loco. All right, this is trouble. Only Lucia, wearing her grandfather's magical helmet, can see the hidden threat. Can she and Sandro prove others wrong and stop the mayor from unleashing evil on their town and beyond? What a great, I mean, this sounds like a great adventure story here.
And it's a graphic novel, so the colors are bright and they're vibrant, and you can see like the author and illustrator, they truly create like a magical world that you kind of just get immersed in. So.
Yeah. And you know, that's to mention the graphic novel thing, and I think, and I was guilty at this when they became more popular here, like it was just a comic book. No, graphic novels are something far more complicated or complex and sophisticated than a comic book, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this I definitely recommend. I read more about this one. This sounds like another great title. Another really good one here in the chapter book category.
Yes, so Rick Riordan presents. He is partnering with a bunch of authors, and it's Rick Riordan presents, and this is one of the books, The Spirit Glass by Roshni Chakshi. And she is also the author of the Aru Shah series, which is another high fantasy series. So in this book, Corazon, who is the main character, yearns to finally start training as a Babylon, a mystical healer and spirit guide under her powerful guardian, Aunt Tina. As soon as her magic awakens, Corazon plans to bring her parents back from the dead and no longer have to rely on a soul key to allow visits with their ghosts for a few hours every Saturday night. But when a vengeful ghost steals Corazon's precious key, the fragile balance between the human world and the spirit world is thrown out of whack. So Roshni Chakshi, she also does a great job of bringing to life this fantasy world, which is also something that Rick Riordan is masterful at as well. And in this book, it's a fast read, and you can't put it down. So much is going on.
I was say it sounds like another great story, and I love that it draws on another culture here. We get the Filipino heritage involved, and so we get you know, a new experience. And again, it sounds like just a wonderful world to kind of explore or visit.
Yes, definitely.
All right, one more book in the chapter book category, and that's The Wild Robot Protects. This is book 3 in a series.
Yes.
Okay. This one, which is coming out September, so life for Roz and the animals on the island is perfect, but when mysterious, dangerous waters surround the island, the animals are forced inland to fight over dwindling resources. All right, there's a message here for sure, right? Roz calms and organizes the animals, but the poison tide takes a terrible toll on the island, so the wild robot sets out across the ocean, determined to stop the poison tide. This third, described as a thrilling third installment in the Wild Robot Series 6 readers on a new adventure through the ocean into the frigid northern waters where Roz may have to make the ultimate sacrifice. Sounds like a great story. Definitely there's a lesson to be learned here that we should be paying attention to for adults as well, I think, right?
Right. And the unique thing about the Wild Robot series is that this robot has feelings. So it's not like your usual like bop, bop, bop
cold
robot.
machine kind of thing.
So
Yeah.
this robot has feelings and it's looking out for like the animals, and the island is the only thing that she knows. And it's another great read, good to see. When the first book came out, we couldn't keep it on the shelves, and it was up for Cuddles and Blue Stems, so definitely I recommend this book for any probably kids that are looking for more of a challenging picture book, not a picture book, I'm sorry, chapter book that they can read on their own.
Okay, all right. Yeah, definitely a title to look forward to here. Okay, we got one. Oh, now we're going to jump to another category.
Yes.
All right, so YA books, and again, we're moving up in the age range here. Who are YA books for?
So typically for 13 to 17-year-olds, sometimes 7th, 8th grade through 12th grade, depending on the
Okay,
content.
okay. So we could be talking like junior high all the way through high school here,
Yes.
right? Okay, what have you got first?
So the first book I'm recommending is a graphic novel book, and it is titled Frontera, and it is by Julio Anta and illustrated by Jacoby Salcedo. And in this book, it's about Mateo and his family, okay? Mateo did not know that his family, they're undocumented immigrants from Guadalajara, and he is in his senior year, getting ready for his senior year of high school, and he didn't know that they came when he was such a young child. And now a judge has ordered them to go back to Guadalajara, and all he wants to do is graduate with his friends. Like I said, he's a senior in high school, and his parents have actually made a deal with Coyote from Mexico to try and get Mateo back to Phoenix. So that he can finish out his senior year, and he would live there with his grandmother. And Mateo cannot wait. He does not listen to the words of the person that the parents hired, and instead he escapes, tries this trek across the Sonoran Desert on his own, where he meets a ghost or spirit guide named Guillermo, who died 70 years prior, and now he has devoted his afterlife to helping immigrants cross the border.
Okay. Sounds like another great story, and unfortunately, probably very close to home for what some people have experienced. But you think about immigrants throughout the history of the United States, the idea of wanting to, go to school and build a life, start a life, and be what you thought was your home, right, or what
Right.
became your home. All right. So definitely want to check out Frontera.
Yes.
Okay. Next book in this category, something that's going to feel a little bit lighter, I think.
Yes, definitely.
All right, this is Bellegarde by Jamie Lilac. It sounds like there's a little bit of a love story here, right? A little bit of a romance. All right, we've got Evie Clement has perfected the art of avoiding attention as she works at her family's bakery and dreams of a life where she can trade dusting flour for designing dresses. Her focus is on honing her sewing skills. She doesn't need to be fawned over by some teenage boy. Well, enter teenage boy.
Right.
Least of all, Beau Bellegarde, the Playboy of Paris. I don't know if I like that title. It's a teenage father. I'm like, no, yeah, next. Unfortunately for Evie, Beau needs her. His conniving stepbrother has roped him into an impossible bet, turned the biggest wallflower they know into the winning Bellegarde bloom at the annual Court of Flowers ball, or lose his entire fortune. I'm trying to think, this also feels like some parallels to like She's the Man or
She's
Save Me
All
This Year.
That.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's some parallel stories going on here, but obviously potentially a very cute, love story also.
Yes, I had to stick this one into for all of those fans that are waiting for the next Bridgerton series to come out. And like you said earlier, it reminds me of She's All That and the recently remade He's All That. So
yeah. Okay, good. All right, and when we've got one more YA title here, and this is another part of a series. And again, this sounds like a great book. I might go pick this one up like this week. It sounded that interesting to me.
Well, good luck.
Stop by the library.
Good
Not
luck,
on the
because
shelf?
there are over 70 holds on this book that comes
Really?
out tomorrow. I have been keeping up with all of these books, and I cannot say enough good things about the Inheritance Games series. So the fourth book comes out tomorrow. It's titled The Brothers Hawthorne, and it's by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And in this book, 4 brothers, 2 missions, 1 explosive read. So Grayson Hawthorne was raised as the heir to his billionaire grandfather, and Jameson Hawthorne. He is a risk taker and a sensation seeker, a player of games. Well, they're drawn into twisted games on the opposite sides of the globe. Grayson and Jameson, with the help of their brothers and the girl who inherited their grandfather's fortune, must dig up to decide who they want to be and what each of them will sacrifice to win. Okay, so at this point, this is the fourth book in the inheritance games. The boys already know that their grandfather, he was very cutthroat in making his fortune, and he didn't care who he had to hurt along the way. So the boys need to decide, do we want to be like our grandfather? Or what kind of risks are we willing to take? Jennifer Lynn Barnes, great job of giving each boy their own character, their own personality, that readers cannot help but fall into this like mystery, fast-paced, glamorous world. So
Okay,
it's great.
so this is exciting. So if we can't find the fourth book, definitely go back and visit the other three.
Yes.
I do love that. I mean, that final tagline here: that decide who they want to be and what each of them is willing to sacrifice to win. Yeah, I mean, powerful concepts to work with. Sounds like a great book. All right, so maybe I'll look for book one then.
Yes, so good.
Okay. All right. Well, Tina, a lot of great titles here. Thank you. A lot of great reads, I think, coming out, this summer into the fall. Kids heading back to school. Good books to look forward to, maybe for book projects or, book essays.
Yes.
Thanks for all those recommendations.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I love geeking out about books.
Well, especially when you got books like this to work with. Thank you for being here. I'm Dave Wurzel, and you've been watching Bookshelf, and this has been a special Youth and Teen Edition. We've been Youth and Teen Edition talking with Tina Rosella from Palos Heights Library. Thank you for watching, and good reading.